What would you do if the man who was supposed to fix your leaking sink for 6 months was actually fixing your wife? The glowing screen of my phone at 2 a.m. illuminated a text message that was meant for me, a single line of illicit affection from a number I didn't recognize, signed with a name that made my blood run cold: your favorite plumber. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat of impending doom as I stared at the words, the world around me tilting on its axis. I knew with a sickening certainty that my life was about to shatter into a million irreparable pieces. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from, what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. It started subtly, as these things often do. Sarah, my wife of 10 years, began working late more frequently at her marketing job in downtown Chicago. Our once vibrant evenings, filled with shared meals and laughter in our Lincoln Park apartment, became quiet, punctuated only by the hum of the refrigerator and my own growing unease. The plumber, a burly man named Frank, with a perpetually greasy toolbox, had been a recurring fixture in our lives, or rather, a recurring absence of resolution. Our kitchen sink had a persistent drip, a minor annoyance that Frank, despite multiple visits, never quite managed to conquer. Each time he left, Sarah would offer a dismissive shrug. "He's trying his best, honey. Some things just take time." I believed her because I loved her, and because the idea of her betraying me was a foreign concept, a dark shadow that couldn't possibly touch our sunlit life. The humiliation began to seep in, a slow poison. I remembered Sarah's sudden interest in her appearance before Frank's visits, the new perfume, the extra care with her hair. I recalled the hushed phone calls she'd take in the other room, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. My mind, once a sanctuary of shared memories, became a battlefield of suspicion. Every glance, every touch, every casual remark was replayed, scrutinized, twisted into something sinister. The man who couldn't fix a simple faucet was dismantling my marriage, piece by agonizing piece. The strange behavior escalated. Sarah became distant, her eyes often glazed over, lost in thoughts she wouldn't share. Our conversations grew superficial, devoid of the intimacy we once cherished. She started leaving her phone face down, a new habit that screamed guilt. One evening, while she was in the shower, a notification flashed across her screen. A text from Frank the plumber. My hand trembled as I picked it up. "Can't wait for our inspection tomorrow, babe. Miss you." The world stopped. The air left my lungs. The betrayal was no longer a suspicion. It was a concrete, undeniable truth. The slow discovery became a frantic, desperate hunt. I found receipts for expensive dinners at places like Alinea, far beyond what a plumber's fee would cover, dated on nights Sarah claimed to be working late. I checked her phone records, cross-referencing numbers, and found a pattern of frequent, lengthy calls to Frank's number, often late at night. The final nail in the coffin was a hidden folder on her laptop filled with photos. Sarah laughing in Frank's arms in a hotel room that looked suspiciously like the one we stayed in for our anniversary in Miami Beach. The images burned into my retina, searing a permanent scar on my soul. Sarah, sensing my growing suspicion, became cold and manipulative. She'd accuse me of being paranoid, of not trusting her, of trying to control her. "You're imagining things, David," she'd sneer, her eyes devoid of warmth. "Maybe you're just insecure." Her words were daggers, twisting in the wound she had already inflicted. She made me feel like the villain, the one destroying our marriage, while she, the innocent victim, was merely trying to live her life. Frank, emboldened by Sarah's blatant disregard for my feelings, even had the audacity to call our apartment, asking for Sarah, his voice dripping with a smug familiarity that made my stomach churn. They truly felt untouchable, basking in their sordid secret, believing I was too blind, too weak, to ever uncover their deceit. I emotionally broke down. The nights were a blur of tears and sleeplessness, the days a fog of despair. I lost weight, my once sharp mind dulled by the constant ache of betrayal. I walked through our apartment, the place we had built together, and saw only ghosts of a love that was never real. But amidst the wreckage, a cold, hard resolve began to form. The loyal husband was gone, replaced by a strategic, ruthless man fueled by a singular purpose, revenge. Began to secretly gather proof, meticulously, patiently. I hired a private investigator, a quiet woman named Alina, from a firm on Michigan Avenue, who provided me with irrefutable evidence. Timestamp photos of Sarah and Frank entering and leaving a discreet hotel on North Rush Street, detailed call logs, and even recordings of their intimate conversations. I consulted with a divorce attorney, a sharp-witted woman named Ms. Davies, whose office overlooked the Chicago River. She advised me on the legal ramifications, the best course of action to ensure Sarah's complete and utter ruin. I set up a separate bank account, transferred funds, and began to systematically dismantle our shared life, brick by painful brick. The traps were set, legal and social. I filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and, crucially, providing the overwhelming evidence of Sarah's infidelity. I contacted her company's HR department, anonymously at first, then with a carefully curated package of evidence, detailing her inappropriate conduct and the potential damage to the company's reputation. I created a burner social media account, slowly, subtly, leaking snippets of information to mutual friends, planting seeds of doubt and suspicion. The whispers began, then the murmurs, then the outright gossip. The public exposure was brutal, swift, and absolute. The divorce proceedings became a spectacle, the evidence laid bare for all to see. Sarah S.'s carefully constructed image as the devoted wife and successful career woman crumbled under the weight of her deceit. Her company, facing a PR nightmare, quietly let her go. Her friends, once so loyal, distanced themselves, unable to reconcile the woman they knew with the one exposed in court documents and online forums. Frank, the smug plumber, found his business drying up, his reputation in tatters. He was a pariah, his name synonymous with infidelity and unprofessionalism. Sarah was completely ruined. Her career, her social standing, her financial stability, all gone. She tried to fight, to deny, to manipulate, but the evidence was too strong, the public condemnation too fierce. I saw her once, months later, walking alone down a desolate street in a forgotten part of the city, her shoulders slumped, her eyes hollow. Not she didn't see me, and I felt nothing but a chilling emptiness. The end.